allocations for the affordable housing production that we would like to see in the coming year. It's a nearly $17 million investment in affordable housing with a focus on deeply affordable housing at 30% of area median income and under. If you look at the numbers, and the numbers are very important here, we're looking at 797 units in total, 291 of which are at 30% of area median income. Of those, 152 are specifically focused on people and for people that are experiencing homelessness. You've heard me talk about the investment that we made over the last year, which dramatically increased the production of deeply affordable units at 30% of area median income, bringing the city to 273 units in this last year in total. By the way, that was over six times what we previously did on an annual average, which used to be 41. So used to be doing 41 units in deeply affordable housing on an annual basis. Now we're at 273. This is a really big improvement, and it's one that we want to continue year after year because we know if we just go in on a one-time basis, we're not going to sufficiently attack the issue. And the issue is that housing is a right. People deserve a safe place to go home to at the end of the night, to rest their head on the pillow and to rejuvenate for the next day. And the city of Minneapolis is taking some really aggressive efforts to ultimately get there. I want to thank everyone that has been involved in getting to this particular point. I want to thank the developers and our funding partners at the state, at the county, and the Metropolitan Council for their continued partnership in addressing the city's affordable housing needs. Big thank you to Lee Blondes and to Beacon Interfaith, who have been both advocates as well as production-oriented in actually getting some of these amazing projects done. And then all the others that have been working on these projects on a daily basis to keep the pipeline for affordable housing full and well. A very special thank you as well to the really dedicated city staff that we have here. They care so much about making affordable housing in our city a priority, and I'm proud to say that we are. So you need partners in doing this, and one of my favorite partners over here in the council is our newly sworn-in council president, Andrea Jenkins. She has been a proponent and advocate and a servant in the area of housing, and I'm so proud to be working alongside of her. Come on up.
Thank you so much, Mayor Fry. And as you know, that we do need partnership, and so I am thrilled to be working in partnership with you as we make these historic investments in affordable housing. It is a very exciting day. I just want to take a moment to thank our staff, our incredible staff that goes out every day and tries to make housing, the statement, housing is a human right, come to reality. And so we are really grateful for those efforts. I do want to just highlight that these significant investments will make a huge, significant difference for people in our city, for low-income people in our city, for people of color, particularly, I think, women with children. Those are the people who are most challenged by this affordable housing crisis that has been exacerbated by the pandemic. Again, shout out to city staff in analyzing the requests and making the recommendations. Shout out to the developers who do yeoman's work every day to try to make housing a human right for all of our residents. Particularly, I want to give a shout out to PPL for the project that they are developing over at 3030 Nicollet Avenue in Ward 8. It is a project that I think is going to transform that entire community. And as we work as the city to reopen Nicollet, that will be one of the significant housing developments that provides housing for people at all levels, but certainly many low-income, low-wealth communities will be able to benefit from that. I also want to highlight the Calvary Apartments at 3901 Chicago Avenue, which is literally directly across the street from my home, but also in the shadow of George Floyd Square. And as we know, one of the demands, the 24 justice demands that we heard loud and clear from our community is we need affordable housing in this community. And so Trellis Company, along with Calvary Lutheran Church, is stepping up to develop 41 units of deeply affordable supportive housing, 26 units with project-based vouchers, 15 units with housing support, 10 homeless units, and 5 3-bedroom units and 2 4-bedroom units. Because we know this housing crisis is hitting people at all levels. And so this project is going to really address a wide variety of people in need. And so it's a great day to be celebrating these affordable housing investments that the city is making. And I'm going to turn it back over to Mayor Fry to introduce our next speaker.
Thank you, Council President. Our next speaker, who can give you the full rundown because he's got all the expertise, is Elfric Port. He's our housing director and has a long list of accomplishments and can give you the rundown on the work that's at play.
Thanks a lot, Mayor. Good afternoon. This investment marks another great step in addressing the affordable housing challenges in the city, where we find housing costs increasing at a higher rate than incomes, where approximately 50,000 Minneapolis rental housing households earn less than 60% of the area median income. And that's approximately $63,000 for a family of 4. And more importantly, where there are 70% of BIPOC households that have incomes below 60% of the area median income. Recognizing the affordable housing challenges, the Metropolitan Council has set an annual affordable housing production goal for Minneapolis of 442 units serving households at 60% of the area median income. Each year for the past 4 years, we've surpassed this goal, even with the pandemic. In 2021, we produced 551 new housing units and preserved 292 existing units affordable to households at 60% of the area median income. We forecast that this strong production and preservation trend will continue in 2022. Thanks to the unprecedented investment, the mayor's budget increased funding to the Affordable Housing Trust Fund by tens of millions of dollars over his first term. This year's investment aligns with the 2040 plan that envisions all Minneapolis residents will be able to afford and access affordable housing. As you would see, most of the awards that have been made are spread out across the city. The city prioritizes projects that provide the deepest affordability, and as the mayor represented earlier, 291 units are affordable to households at 30% of the area median income, with 152 serving homeless units. In closing, I would like to also add that $16.8 million that the city is committing to this is going to leverage over $260 million of other public and private investment. And for that, I say thank you.
Thank you, Director, for your work. And next, I'd like to bring up Councilmember Jeremiah Ellison from the 5th Ward, who has been a longtime advocate of affordable housing, both in his ward and citywide. Councilmember.
Sorry, running from the very long council meeting that I took from home. So thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I really want to thank city staff for the administration of this program. It's incredible for us to see the amount of affordable housing, especially deeply affordable housing, and I'm sure that staff has spoken to that already. And I really want to thank our community partners who create this housing. Without them, we have nobody to give money to, right? There aren't folks who are shepherding along this issue. And while, much ado is made about some of the disagreements at City Hall, housing and the rights of housing has been a place where City Hall has been universally united. And I'm really, really proud of the work that we've been able to do. I'm sure Elfric could speak to it better, but seeing some of the doubling and tripling of 30% units that we've made in the last couple of years is nothing short of impressive. And so, with that, I just want to say, I'm grateful for all the projects in my ward, obviously, but really to see this is a responsibility that we share as a community citywide. Everybody is owed a dignified place to live. Is there more that we can do? Absolutely, and we will continue to improve how we deliver these services, but are we doing more than we've ever done as a city before? Absolutely, and that can't be ignored. So thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thanks to city staff under the leadership of Andrea Brennan and my friend Elfric Port here, and grateful to all the community partners who will be constructing this housing, and I'm excited to see it all come online. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Ellison. Next, I'd like to bring up Lee Blondes, who's the CEO and president of Beacon Interfaith. So proud to partner with you.
I'm Lee Blondes, the CEO of Beacon Interfaith Housing Collaborative. We believe in home. On behalf of the future residents of Emerson Village and all of the new homes, I'd like to thank Mayor Fry, Council President Andrea Jenkins, Councilmember Jeremiah Ellison, as well as Elfric Port, and all of the CPED staff that work tirelessly to create more homes in Minneapolis. We understand that homelessness and eviction disproportionately impact BIPOC families. As a collaborative of 100 congregations, our many faiths call us to take action to create more equitable communities. We're grateful for the strong community support and the tireless advocacy exerted by our congregations that makes Emerson Village a reality. We applaud the City of Minneapolis for funding deeply affordable housing for the very lowest income people who are most impacted by the housing crisis. Emerson Village is an investment in racial equity to disrupt these systems. An eviction on your record will not be a barrier to calling Emerson Village a home. With the rent subsidy from Minneapolis Public Housing Authority, parents that have struggled to pay rent in the past will now have the support to sustain their home while they move up the economic ladder. We'll also be working with Hennepin County Child Protection System to help families in crisis have a stable home and support system to disrupt the disproportionate removal of Black and Indigenous children from their homes. We're proud to be in partnership with PPL and Northside Achievement Zone to build the community supports for new residents to help them not only survive, but thrive. Emerson Village will provide 40 well-managed and well-maintained apartment homes, including 11 3- and 4-bedroom homes that are so rare. We're partnering with Juxtaposition Arts to involve residents who call North Minneapolis home in the design of the interior of the building. At Beacon, we believe quality, affordable homes belong in all communities. Emerson Village is one of 5 housing developments creating over 200 new apartments for families that Beacon is developing in North Minneapolis and also in suburban communities, Hopkins, Plymouth, Shakopee, and our coming development in the East Metro. We believe stable homes transform lives and communities. Emerson Village has a total development cost of $20 million. We care deeply about design, energy efficiency, and high-quality materials. But let's be real. This key, which costs less than $10, is the most important investment. We know that when a family signs their lease and gets that key, they're not only getting a key to unlock the door to their new home in Emerson Village, they're getting a key, a chance to unlock new opportunities. The opportunity for your children to stay in the same school year after year, the place to get to know your neighbors and put down roots, and for you to further your education and move up to that next job. When parents and kids do well, we all do well. Beacon believes we all benefit when we all have a home. We believe our society has the resources for all of us to have a home, so we thank the city for their investments in affordable housing today as we continue to advocate with the city, with the county, and with the state for greater emphasis on deeply affordable housing and more resources so that all people have a home. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Leah. Thank you for the partnership. And last but certainly not least, I'd like to invite up Mike Lafave, the Vice President of Housing Stability at Project for Pride and Living. Proud to work with you. Come on up.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Mike Lafave. I am the Senior Vice President of Housing Stability at Project for Pride and Living. And I'd like to start today just again by echoing thanks to the Mayor, City Council members, City staff in particular for their support and partnership, and particularly their support of our project at 3030 Nicollet. For us at PPL, this is not just another affordable housing project. And while it is a project that will deliver 110 units of housing that will be affordable for low-income families in our community, for us, it's more than that. For us, this is a project on a site that was impacted by the social unrest on the Lake Street corridor that followed George Floyd's murder. This is a site from our perspective that demanded that the community have agency and voice in shaping not just what got rebuilt here, but how it got rebuilt and how it would impact the surrounding neighborhood and community. So PPL has partnered on this project with the Cultural Wellness Center, who has led a year-long, intensive, deliberate community engagement process on this site. And the project that has emerged from that process will not only include 110 units of housing that will be affordable at 50% and 30% of AMI, but will also include a new Wells Fargo bank branch, functional, accessible public space, public art, 8,700 square feet of commercial space that will be available as affordable ownership opportunities for local small businesses so they can own rather than rent their space. Financial literacy program, job readiness, career advancement programming, home buyer education programming, all of which has emerged from and is the fruit of our community engagement process here. Our CEO at PPL, Paul Williams, started to say in the earliest days following the unrest that how we rebuild here will be every bit as important as what we rebuild. And this is a project in which we've been really deliberate about the how. And so we're grateful here that the city has valued that as well and made this project a priority. So thanks very much, and thank you specifically to Council President Jenkins for her support and leadership on this project. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we'll open it to any questions you might have. Okay. No?
So, what's the importance of this partnership? I know the city is providing part of the funding, but and I'm guessing cities also often come through some regulatory red tape to help these things along. Can you talk about kind of what the teamwork is here?
I can. This is a question that's probably best directed over to our expert on housing, Elfrick. But the city works in conjunction with a number of different entities. In this case, we've got monies that are both allocated through our city budget as well as external monies as well. And the way you work it is you stack them. You stack them as much as possible to ultimately fill any gaps and then get the development produced and completed. Now, we are also working, obviously, with a number of different nonprofits, including Project for Pride and Living, including Beacon Interfaith. They do their own work and fundraising. They help to put all of these projects together and bring forward the necessary pieces. And of course, the goal of the city is to, where a project is moving along, to get out of the way. And so that's a big part of it as well. Miss anything?
No. The additional piece that I'll add is part of our work here is to assist the developers meander through the bureaucratic process. So it's our involvement from the initial stage of receiving the application to when the project closes and construction starts.
Any other questions? Okay. Oh. Am I missing someone? Oh, I'm sorry. Councilmember Ellison, go for it.
I'm just going to add one small piece to your question, which is that I think that also our community partners, like Beacons, also push us, right? Often you're dealing with, do you go wide, right? Fund a bunch of projects at 60%, or do you go deep and fund a lot of projects at 30%? And I think that we've been in a position, a lot of because of the mayor's funding priorities, to do both. And I think that this is an example of us being in a position to kind of do both. So.